Coaching has seen a major surge in popularity in the last few decades. With literally hundreds of thousands of options, it can feel really overwhelming on deciding how to choose the right coach for you. And as it's an unregulated industry, literally anyone can hang out a shingle and call themselves a coach, even if they've had zero training and no experience. And that leaves it up to you, the consumer, to do your due diligence and vet the options available. So if you're thinking about working with the coach, first go back and look at last week's episode that was all about explaining what a coach is, what they do, and the difference between coaches and the other types of consultants that you might want to hire. And after you do that, then listen on and take in these 10 things that you might want to consider when you are thinking about hiring a coach. Number 1, have they completed a coaching program? There are excellent self-taught coaches and really horrible coaches who've received training. So completion of a formal program definitely should not be your only consideration, but it can be one signal of a quality coach. There are thousands of coach training programs, including very affordable options that are self-study and not necessarily very helpful. So it might be good to ask if the program that they completed was ICF certified, meaning certified through the International Coaching Federation, which is the leading global organization for professional coaches. You can also ask if they then took the additional step of getting ICF certified, which requires another test and ongoing continuing education. Number 2, how much experience do they have? It might also be helpful to ask the number of clients that they've actually coached and the number of hours that they've done coaching work. And likewise, what are they doing to continue their education? If they are ICF certified, they are required to keep their skills sharp by taking 40 continuing education hours every 3 years. Number 3, what is their coaching model? Ask potential coaches about their approach. Do they have a framework or a methodology that they use? Do they have a structured program that all clients experience in the same way? Or, like me, do they take a more intuitive approach and customize the experience to the individual? Is their coaching open-ended, or does it end after a certain amount of time? Will they do more talking or more listening? You can even ask them what kinds of questions they're going to ask you and what is the point of those questions. If they plan to also give advice and teach, do they understand and communicate the difference between consulting and coaching? Will they ask permission to switch between the two? Number 4, do they have a code of ethics? The coach should absolutely have a contract that clearly outlines the rights and responsibilities of each party. It should address confidentiality, conflicts of interest, and the boundaries between coaching and therapy. You can also ask a coach how will they set the container. It's another term for creating a safe space. This involves creating agreements between the coach and client around things like logistics, expectations, and trust. Number 5, what are their core beliefs? A coach's beliefs will necessarily impact the coaching relationship. So it's important that you understand and feel comfortable with their values. As an example, I'm an intersectional feminist, which means I believe that patriarchy is real and problematic. And this affects my work in several ways. I ask questions designed to help my clients unpack their own patriarchal conditioning so they can redefine success on their own terms. Also, I understand and value the lived experience of people who are pushed to the margins in patriarchy. That means I won't diminish or dismiss someone's reality and call it mindset. Also, my approach means that I inherently value consent. So I will always focus on my client's safety first. I want to always check in on how my clients feel about my approach and about their choices. I also won't use a person's problems to manipulate them into spending money with me. Know what matters to you and make sure that any coach you're considering holds those same values. Number 6, how do they know if they're doing a good job? What is the coach's barometer of success for individual coaching sessions and for the overall coaching relationship? Their answer should involve more than just handing you client testimonials or saying when the client reaches their goal. Ask how they critique their own practice. They should be able to explain to you how they measure good coaching. You might also ask about a time that they weren't successful and why. The answer is likely to be something about connection and communication, or lack thereof, between the coach and client, as those are usually the keys to success. Number 7, do you like them? To be effective, coaching will require you to be vulnerable. You have to be willing to be honest and not hold back about your thoughts and feelings. And to do that, you're going to need to be comfortable with your coach. Spend some time with them to evaluate whether you like them and whether you think you can be yourself around them. A coach isn't a friend, but that is an intimate relationship that requires trust. Number 8, will they share testimonials? Check a coach's reference. Are her past clients satisfied? If possible, talk to those people and ask specific questions about how they felt during the coaching sessions. You can ask what they achieved during and since coaching. How often do they refer people to the coach? And what words would they use to describe the coach and that coaching experience? Number 9, what's the investment? It is important to get a complete price for the coaching experience and what is and isn't included. Get the details and then be honest with yourself. Can you afford it? There are many coaches who will encourage you to use credit to pay for their services. Some coaches will use high-pressure sales tactics, even going so far as to question your commitment to change if you aren't willing to purchase right then and there. Do not sign up for coaching until you are ready. First of all, it is rude and really unethical to pressure anyone into purchasing something. And second, coaching only works when you are ready and committed, because after all, you are the one who has to do the work. Number 10, what does your intuition tell you? We have been so conditioned to not trust our own instincts and instead put all of the priority on what looks good on paper. But I believe it's a really good sign if your heart, soul, intuition, spirit are singing when you think about working with this person. Trust your gut. If someone feels like the right coach for you, it doesn't really matter why. And if it doesn't feel right to you, it also doesn't matter why. Move on, and you don't owe anyone an explanation. If you have hired a coach, I would love to know what you think might be missing from this list. What are the questions that would have been helpful for you to know to ask at the time that you made that decision? Share them in the comments.